everyone. So in today's video I'm going to be telling you all about my college orientation experience, but in no way am I saying that yours will be this exact same way, or that you will do the same things, or that you will have the same experience that I had, or that my tips will make you make friends at orientation or make you have a good time, because it's really all up to you. And I just wanted to let y'all know that just because I'm giving you advice doesn't mean that, you know, I'm 100% a college orientation expert. I know how to make it go the smoothest, etc., etc. So these are just my tips. You don't have to take them, and your experience may not be the same as mine. So I'm going to be referring to my itinerary to remember each individual thing we did and to discuss what happened at each individual thing. So when I first got there, there were people, you know, telling us where to park. We parked and we went to the center where the orientation was supposed to be. And we got there pretty early, so when we got there, there wasn't even like check-ins yet. Like, we couldn't check in or anything because Mom wanted to get there with ample time to make sure that, you know, we had a seat and all that. So we got there, and after about 10 minutes of waiting, check-ins finally began. I was one of the first people to check in, and when I got in, they gave me this little thing that said my name, my major, and my group number and things like that, and they gave me a little lanyard, I think that's what you call it, to put it on. And then I went inside, and when I went inside, I took a picture for my student ID, and they told me like parking information and different ways I can get to campus other than just driving, such as the bus that the school offers that also takes you other places, and it's, you know, really fancy, and I really like enjoy that feature. I might use it, I don't know, since I'm driving. It's not a necessity to use it, but I might use it. And then Uber and like Zipcar and stuff like that. Like, you can rent a car as long as you're 18 with that place. And, you know, usually it's like 20 something. I'm not sure what exact age it is, but it's usually not 18. So that is what we first did. And then I finally got to meet back up with my mom. I was texting her the whole time, every time that I wasn't with her, because I don't know, like, I wasn't talking to anyone yet at this point. So I was just like nervous and trying to like casually smile at people, but it was really early and it seems like nobody was in the mood, and I'm pretty sure they weren't. So I did that, and then I met back up with my mom, and we sat in this center for about an hour and a half just talking and waiting for the people to come and introduce like the orientation and things like that. So from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m., which 8:30 is the time that check-in was supposed to end, it did end around that time, and that's when they actually began. They had actual students from the school come up and talk to us and just, you know, tell us about the day and what we're going to be doing, and just tell us general information, and they welcomed us. And then after that, we got split up from our families. So from 9:30 to 10 a.m., it says students leave, family and guests restroom break / snacks. So we left, the students, and the family and guests, I guess that's what they did. I'm not really sure because my mom didn't tell me, but I guess they got food. So from 10 to 10:45, the parent and family programs happened, which just meant like if you bring, say, your mom and dad, I brought my mom, and my brothers didn't come or anything. It was just my mom because each individual person is more money, and it was just unnecessary. And a lot of people actually didn't bring a parent, so it's not required or anything. You don't have to, but it's called It's Your Transition Too, and that's where they basically, ooh, there's a like bus or something. That's when they basically talk to the parents or family members about the school and inform them and make them feel like family too, along with you. From 10:45 to 11:15, we did campus services, which says parking, dining, transportation, and housing. And I think during this time, we honestly, I'm not sure if this was the time, but during this day, we split up into like small groups with an orientation leader, and we all were just in our individual like groups of maybe like 13 people, and we got a tour of the school. We went everywhere. They told us about each building and what classes were in each building, and literally I think every single person in my group was a nursing major like me. And we went to the building where most nursing classes will be, and she was like, this will be y'all's baby, la la la. And the lady, the lady was really, really sweet. I think her name was, well, I won't say it actually because I don't know if she wants to be in this video, but if you're watching this somehow, you were really sweet and you made my orientation really good, so thank you. 11:15 to 11:45, they had parent and family programs. It says what's next. FAs lead parent groups to fairs or lunch. So half of us went to like these fair things and half of us went to lunch. So I think I went to the fair first. I'm not sure, but during this day, we got to like go to little stations. I don't know if y'all had this in high school, but for us, we had career fair day, and they would have little stations set up in the gym with different places and different careers to come talk to us. And that was basically what it was, but it was with clubs instead, and like churches and things that had to do with the school. And we went with our parents, if your parents came, or your friends if you were with them. And we just, you know, looked at all the tables and things like that. And then we went to lunch. Like 2 groups went to the fair and 2 groups went to the lunch. And then 2 groups went to lunch and 2 groups went to the fair at the time after that. There was time in between this where we went and we basically did nothing for a while. We were supposed to play a big Kahoot game, but it was like 40 minutes before the Kahoot game started, and we were in there. Like, my group was one of the first in there, and we just waited for a very long time. We were all like, what are we doing? And we were like, why can't we just go register for classes? Because that's what we were all wanting to do, and we were just anticipating that. But we couldn't register for classes because our, what do you call it, the registration time didn't open to 3:30, and it was only like 1 at this time, so we had hours to wait, and we were just like so confused. But then we played this really big Kahoot game. We didn't win because we accidentally logged in late. Like, we were getting the questions right, we just logged in late. Also at lunch, I advise you, if this is a thing at your school, to go on dynamic schedule and look up what classes are available. I know they get taken very quickly, and that you can look 1 second and the next second the class will be gone. But I encourage you at lunch to write down what classes you want, which ones are open, and write down multiple for each class just so you have options. Because when you get in the registration room, it is really nerve-wracking, and it gave me a lot of anxiety because people around me were asking me questions and I didn't know what I was doing myself, and they were just, I don't know, like, they were like, it's 3:30 and then we could finally do it, and everybody just started clicking, and all I heard was like keyboards around me. I just got really overwhelmed really easily, and I'll get to a little bit more into that later. But I advise you to go on dynamic schedule if you have it and write down, you know, the classes you want and things like that. From 2 to 4, I guess the parents had a session while we were registering for classes and while we were doing things. It says that they talked about financial aid, Hope Zelle, Pell, FAFSA, etc. And then they did a wellness panel, police, student health services, counseling and psychological services, health promotion and wellness, Center for Young Adult Addiction and Recovery. And I do know that my mom said they had police officers come in there and talk to them about the app that we can download when we're on campus to get help. And they also talked to them about, the nurses came in there and they told them that they give out like free condoms, and all the parents got like really awkward and like quiet. But the nurses were saying if, you know, people are going to engage in sex, they want them to do it safely and avoid diseases and all risk factors. And then the parents just had time to refresh and recharge while they wait on us to return from course registration. And that's what I'm going to talk about, course registration, because I know when you're going to orientation, that's like the main thing you're thinking about registering for your classes as a freshman. And I know that, I'm not sure actually if this is at all schools, but some places, like if you're honors, you get to register before everybody else. Or if, I mean, like here, freshmen just basically had last priority, I think. I'm not sure, but I think we did. If you wanted to tour the school, like the on-campus housing, they did give that option at 4 p.m., which is after you register for classes. So a lot of people didn't really want to do that. They were all worn out from the day and wanted to just go home. But when I registered for classes, we went in and it wasn't time yet. We had about 15 minutes, so we were all on dynamic schedule, looking and seeing like the classes we could get and if they were open, and you know, like we were writing things down. And when the clock actually hit 3:30, everybody just started going. Well, the girl next to me, she didn't have like her login done or anything like that, so she was struggling, and I could just see the frustration on her face, and I felt really bad. But there was nothing I could do because I was registering for my classes, and she kept asking me questions while I was registering. And you know, I didn't have a problem. I don't have a problem helping people, but I literally got so overwhelmed because all I hear is keyboards around me, mouse is clicking, everybody else is doing the exact same thing as I am. Every time I click a class, literally it's putting me on the wait list because somebody already just got that last seat. And it was just really stressful. And still till today, I've been looking for different classes, because one of the classes I have I don't really want, but I wanted to make sure I had 12 hours to be able to get my scholarship. So I would just say, when you are going into registration, be prepared to be overwhelmed, but also don't let it work you up too much, because if you get overworked, then you're gonna feel like I did. And I literally just felt like I was about to start crying because I was looking for classes and I just wanted to get specific classes, but I couldn't get them because they weren't open, and that's okay. Like, it really is. During this time, they told us about like this camp you can go to for freshmen. I don't know if it's just for freshmen actually, but I know you can go there and you get to know people before you come, and you can just make some long-lasting friendships from that camp. I really do encourage, like, if you do this, if you have small groups, to talk to the people in it, because you can make friends from that. Because I know me and these girls will be friends for a long time that I was talking to in mine, just because of the way we vibed with each other. And if I would have never talked to them, then I wouldn't have had that opportunity. And we also have a class together, so I mean, we're probably going to talk a lot and get a lot closer. So it's good that I talked to her then and got to know her then, so that when I'm going into that class the first day, I know I have someone there to talk to. If you are staying on campus and you haven't toured your place, then I really do encourage you to do the campus tours. But since I'm off campus, I decided not to do that. Also, if you wanted to stay on campus and like the housing was full or there was wait list and you didn't get the housing, then I encourage you to still go tour, and then maybe next semester you can apply again, or in the next year you can apply and try to get that housing if you really like it, or you can just stay at home or get off campus housing. The best thing I can say to do is just to be open with this experience with everything you do. Like, when you're with people walking around and stuff, try to make conversation. Don't force it, but, you know, try to be engaging and try to just make friends, because if you just sit there and you don't talk the whole time, then, I mean, that's just all your orientation is going to be, and it's probably not going to be enjoyable for you. Also, if you get like a lunch break like we did, I would encourage you to try little bits of different types of food they have, so you can get an idea of what your lunch experience at that school is going to be like. Because I went there before and I've gotten pizza, and then I got pizza this time too, so I don't know what anything else tastes like, and I actually don't even like the pizza. I'm just scared to try anything else. So I really recommend that you know, get a feel of your school, you get an idea of what it's actually going to be like when you're there the next month or two, whenever you actually start. Also, don't be scared of your orientation leader, because you can make a friend from that person. I mean, just because they're your orientation leader and you're looking up to them doesn't mean that they are not normal people. They're college students too. Talk to your orientation leader like your friends. You don't have to talk to them like they're your teacher or something like that. I mean, they're just normal college students just like you will be. I also encourage you to get as much information as you can about financial aid and how much and make sure your financial aid is, you know, in order. Like, make sure you have everything in order, make sure that they have received all your paperwork and everything like that, just so that you have no concerns when it comes to you getting your scholarships and your financial aid money. Also, be kind to your family if they come with you, because some people don't have family members to come with them, and some people's families aren't willing to come with them even if they do have the family members. So be grateful that your parents or family wanted to come with you, wanted to support you on this day, and just be nice to them, because it's a lot for them to go through too. As you're transitioning, they're transitioning as well. So just try to make it like less stressful for them. I also encourage you to reach out and see what clubs you can join and see what clubs you can do and what will help you with your major, because they do have, you know, specific clubs that can help you with a major, like nursing. They have nursing clubs for that, and you can get real opportunities and experience, and it'll just help you in the long run. So I encourage you to do that. I encourage you to see what on-campus jobs you can get, because I mean, usually college kids need a little bit more money. Just be open with this experience and allow it to bring you opportunities, and allow it to enhance your college experience and get you like started off on the right foot, and you should be, you know, good. Don't go in there with a bad mindset. Don't go in there with a bad mood. Just go in there, be open to talk to people, be open to try new things. I'm scared. Step out of your comfort zone and just try to be as social as you can, even if you are an introvert. For me, it wasn't very hard to talk to people because I am a social person, but for others, I could tell that they were struggling to start conversations. But just try your best and make this a good experience, and make it something that you remember as positive and not negative. Learn everything you can at orientation. Learn where to get from class to class. Learn anything you can at orientation so that you're well prepared as best as you can be on the first day. eat a good breakfast before you come, because I know that I did not, and I was starving and shaking by the time that it was lunchtime, which was like 1 something. Well, actually, I think we ended up going a little bit earlier. We ended up going at the end of 12, but just make sure you eat so that you don't feel like you're about to pass out while you're touring the school. That is all the advice that I can think of, and all the things that I can think of to tell you about my experience. I wasn't able to vlog it just because it was very overwhelming to me, and there was a lot going on at one time. And I don't think they would have allowed me anyways, because they didn't even allow me to bring a water into like where we initially were. So I'm not sure if they would have, but I didn't try. I just didn't want to test the waters. Sorry I wasn't able to vlog, but I will be having more content coming out soon. Make sure you stay tuned to see it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment, and I will see you in my next video.